Hoş geldiniz. Ramadan Mubarak. Ramadan is a spiritual, beautiful time of the year, but it can get a little bit chaotic close to Iftar time. We want nutritious, beautiful soups every day, but we don't always have 2 hours to simmer legumes. So that's why today I'm sharing my ultimate secrets for Ramadan. I'm not just sharing recipes, I'm sharing a system that will change the way you cook. While I'm preparing these for the long days of Ramadan, this freezer treasure chest is a lifesaver for anyone with a busy life, whether you are fasting, meal prepping for a busy work week, or just looking for a nutritious 10-minute dinner. From high-protein green lentils and chickpeas to pearl barley and my liquid gold red lentil base, these are the building blocks of a healthy kitchen. The origins of Turkish soups trace back centuries to the time of the Selçuk Empire and the Ottoman court. Soups were essentially in daily life, serving as a warming, nourishing, and versatile dish for both common people and royalty. Today we are bringing that timeless tradition into our modern kitchens. I start by soaking my 3 staple legumes: pearl barley, green lentils, and chickpeas. I use warm water for the barley and lentils and cold water for the chickpeas. We're gonna boil them separately because their cooking time are different, and we're gonna use separately either in different recipes or some of them together. Originally, I planned to boil them the same day, but I got a bit distracted decorating my kitchen for Ramadan. So here is how they looked the next day, perfectly plumped and ready to cook. Make sure to discharge the soaking water and use fresh one. This is a crucial step because those complex sugars that cause bloating and gas are released into the water during the soak. By changing the water, we make the legumes much easier to digest. When it's time to cook, make sure to use plenty of water again. Once the chickpeas reach a boil, I always skim off and discharge that foam that rises to the top. It keeps the flavor clean. Honestly, this is the hardest part of the whole process. To speed things up, you can certainly use a pressure cooker, especially for the chickpeas since they take the longest. For me, the green lentils were ready in about 25 minutes, while the barley and chickpeas took about an hour. Just keep an eye on them and boil until they are perfectly tender. And here's a little secret. If your chickpeas are being stubborn, or inatçı as we say in Turkish, just sprinkle in about a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. It works like magic to soften them up. By the way, on the background, I'm making Ramadan pidesi to go with the soup. I will share it in the next episode. Now that our 3 legumes are soft and ready, it's time to portion them for the month. For the pearl barley, I'm using these silicone muffin cups. They are perfect for individual portions. You can drop 1 or 2 pucks into your pot depending on how much soup you are making. For the green lentils, I first reached my old muffin cups again, but I decided on an even easier hack: the freezer bag. By spreading them flat in the bag before freezing, you can easily break off exactly as much as you need later on. It's a great space saver too. I will use the leftovers from these batches to show you 2 different soups today. As for the chickpeas, I'm using this clear plastic container. The trick here is not to pack them too tightly. If you leave a little room, you can let the container sit for about 10 minutes on the counter and the chickpeas will break apart easily, so you can scoop out your portion. And while these are setting in the freezer, I'm going to prepare one last silky soup based using red lentils. For my red lentil base, I'm keeping things simple. I roughly chop one onion and a large carrot, sauteing them for just a minute to wake up the flavors. Then I washed the lentils, add them into the pot with enough water, just to cover the lentils, reaching out 3 fingers above the surface. You can always add more later if it gets too thick. It is optional, but I recommend adding 2-3 cloves of garlic for depth, along with enough salt. While that simmers, I'm popping my pearl barley pucks out of the silicone molds and into freezer bags. This clears up my molds for the next step. Once the red lentil mixture is soft and falling apart, I pureed it until it's perfectly silky. This time I'm using an ice cream scoop to portion the puree into the same muffin cups. Having these red lentil bases ready in the freezer is a total game changer. It means you can have a steaming bowl of classic mercimek çorbası ready in just 10 minutes. Okay, we have our beautiful 4 bases now. Let's make the first soup. If you want, you can just pour all of it with water, meat broth, chicken broth, vegetable stock. It's up to you. And boil everything and then make a butter sauce. But what I would like to do is I want to have it a little bit more spicy, get the warmth, flavor and color of the pepper and tomato paste. So I'm just going to saute some pastes at the bottom of my pan with some olive oil and then put everything in and let them boil. I start by sauteing some tomato and pepper paste, salsa in olive oil. Then I decided to add some finely chopped onion as well, just to create some rich foundation. Then I added my 4 treasures along with some water. The chickpeas, green lentils, pearl barley puck, and silky smooth red lentil base. As I was stirring, I decided to play with the flavors even more. I sprinkled in a tablespoon of tarhana powder. This is completely optional, but it adds that beautiful fermented tang and extra thickness. I have the recipe on the channel, but you have to be in the spring or fall season to make it. To finish, a good pinch of pul biber and dried mint, and we just let it simmer until the flavors marry together into one harmonious bowl. Make sure to serve it with a big squeeze of lemon and you have a powerhouse of a meal. Next, we are making a creamy, comforting yogurt barley soup with chickpeas. I'm dropping 1.5 of my barley pucks into a pot with about half a cup of pre-cooked chickpeas. While those come to a boil in a water, I'll prepare the terbiye, the soul of the soup. I'm whisking together a cup of yogurt, 2 tablespoons of flour, and 1 egg yolk. Actually, I'm using a bit of leftover egg wash from my Ramadan pides, which works perfectly. Zero waste. Now the most important step, tempering. Slowly add a ladle of the hot soup water into the yogurt mixture while whisking constantly. This ensures our yogurt won't curdle when we drizzle it back into the pot. Let it simmer until it thickens into a velvety consistency. If it's too thick, just add a splash more water and finish with salt. To bring it to life, we need a classic Turkish finishing touch, a sizzling butter and dried mint sauce. Just melt some butter until it foams, stir in plenty of dried mint and pour it over to the top. And just like that, we have two classic protein-packed Turkish soups ready in under 15 minutes. By this time my fresh pidas were out of the oven, so I'm setting my humble table for the very first iftar of the season. So there we have it, my friends, two different beautiful nutritious soups made in no time after you have all the staple legumes ready in the freezer. The possibilities are endless. Please share in the comments if you have any ideas, different soup recipes you can make with all these legumes and soup bases. But as we sit down for iftar, I want to share a little thoughts with you. Sometimes, especially in social media, we see tons of different dishes spread on table. It can feel like we need to do more to make Ramadan special. As a chef, I love food and I will continue to share more different recipes for you to serve to your loved ones when you have guests at home. It is also our tradition to spread the table as much as you can. But as we reflect during this month of Ramadan, I remind myself that a blessed table, a bereketli sofra, isn't about how many plates are on it. A simple, humble soup like this, made with barley, legumes, chickpeas, has the full of nutritions that our body needs after a long time of fasting. And when we simplify our kitchen, we have more time for ourselves to pray and loved ones for the Ramadan. So don't worry if your table looks a little small tonight. It is still a blessing. We all know that if there is a health, if there is a gratitude, and if there is a warm soup to share, your table is truly blessed. May your Ramadan be full of barakat. Stay tuned for more recipes and Ramadan Mubarak.